Their rides are in theme parks across the world. They have created insane drop towers, revolutionised the modern day launch coaster, and broken world records. This is Theme Park Realm. Today we are taking a look at one of Intamin's most famous ride types, the multi-loop coaster. Next year for the 2020 season, Flamingo Land Resort in Yorkshire will be opening up their own incarnation of this classic ride design. And so it's time to take a look back at the evolution of the multi-loop coaster. In 1998, a brand new theme park was being constructed in Brazil. They were looking for a new groundbreaking coaster. Werner Stengel and Intamin designed a brand new 8 inversion coaster. This ride would be a record breaker for Brazil and match Dragon Khan's inversion count, which at the time was the world record holder for number of inversions. Monte Macaya was the first example of Intamin's famous multi-loop coaster design, and they would continue to push the boundaries of this classic ride model in future years. This 8 inversion coaster model was replicated twice in future years, again in 2002 and in 2006. When Thorpe Park Resort in the UK were in their transition from funfair to fully fledged theme park, they themselves were looking to break some boundaries. Intamin created a modified version of their 8-looper coaster. Colossus opened in 2002 and featured much of the same layout to its 8 inversion counterparts, the only real difference being the ride's final helix being replaced by a further 2 Heartline rolls, one of which is located just before the final brake run. The Colossus track design was less popular and only replicated once. At the end of the 2000s, Intamin were looking to push this ride design even further, and they launched 2 new products, the 10 inversion Rev B and the 12 inversion coaster. Again, these new rides featured much of the same layout as the previous incarnations of the multi-loop coaster. Both the 10 inversion Rev B and the 12 inversion coaster had some brand new features never seen before previously on this ride type. They both featured wider track which would enable brand new lap bar style trains to be installed. They also featured a cable lift hill instead of the classic chain lift seen on the previous incarnations of this ride type. And in addition to this, they had several sections of track reprofiled for a smoother ride experience. Unfortunately, Intamin's 12 looping coaster never came to fruition. The Smiler was built shortly after in 2013 and broke Intamin's record by a further 2 loops. A few years prior to this though, Hopi Hari theme park in Brazil had actually purchased their own 10 inversion Rev B model from Intamin. Unfortunately, although the ride was delivered to the park, they could not afford to construct the coaster, and this coaster will now be opening up in Flamingo Land for the 2020 season. So as of 2019, there are actually 4 different versions of Intamin's multi-loop coaster design. Unfortunately though, as the 12 loop model goes, no parks have ever actually purchased this design, but you never know, someone might purchase it in the future and we could very well see this model get constructed. So to summarise, the 8 looper model was replicated 3 times, the 10 inversion revision A model was replicated twice, one of which is Colossus at Thorpe Park Resort, and the 10 looper revision B was replicated 5 times, and then of course the 12 inversion model may be constructed at some point in the future. Most of these rides are still operating, however unfortunately Monte Macaya, which was the very first 8 inversion multi-loop coaster, is actually currently deconstructed and sat in a field in Brazil. It's thought that this is going to be reconstructed for the 2020 season and will be reopening in Mirabilandia in Brazil. I do hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did enjoy, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Do go and follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. We will be keeping the channel and social media up to date with all of the latest news for the construction of the brand new Flamingo Land 2020 coaster. There is also a further 2 videos that I've made covering this topic already, and I will link those at the end of the video. But other than that, thank you very much for watching.